Alright, Lee's back in the room. Took right at about 4 hours. And you can tell they took... Oops. Okay, so, alright, sorry, had a little slight interruption when the doc came in to check her out. She is really kind of loopy right now because they gave her some sedative right before she came up to help her get some rest. But you can see what they did, and you can't see the other side since she's laying on it, but it's basically a carbon copy of that side. They did not have her shave her head this time because they didn't want the stylist or somebody at home to bump the studs that they had placed in her head. So they did all the shaving once she got down to the operating room. As I understand it, from what the doc said when they called, everything in the procedure was done with a local anesthetic, sort of like going to the dentist. And then, like in the dentist, if you they would give you the shots around part of the skull before they did the work, and if you started to feel pain, then they would give you extra. Oops, she changed her head, so there you go. So they would give you extra of the injection so that you could be comfortable. And then they did their testing to make sure they had the probes in the right spot and hooked it up to their machine so that they could do their functional test. Everything worked fine. And then after they did the testing, they gave her some sedation before they took her down for a CT scan to make sure that everything was stayed in the right place and they were happy with the results of the probe. So right at 4 hours after they took her back, they got her up to the room. She did get nauseous, which is not unusual during surgery or coming out of the surgery. And the procedure seems to have kicked off a migraine, so we're getting her migraine medicine to kind of help with that. So baby, is there anything you wanted to say? Nope, she's not a happy camper right now. So we'll end this part, and when she gets back to her more chipper self, we'll get her on here and let her talk about what it felt like and what all they did, because I'm just going by what the doc said. But we'll get back with you shortly. Okay.
Well, I am human again, eating my bag of chips, and no shaking. And guess what? No shaking, no spilling.
And that's without the battery pack, right?
Yeah, that's without the battery pack. That's just what they did for the procedure today. Now, I'm still a little medicated, so my speech is just a little slurred. I tend to think of it as a tequila shot, but anyway. It's not as bad as it seems. Now I'm gonna go through the motions and step by step of what they did later, so you all will know. But for right now, I am good and I'm waiting on food. Well, I just got done getting my food plate, and look at, I should say no pa, no ma, look no ma, no hands, but look no shake. Now this I can deal with. guys didn't see that. That's just because I'm a sloppy eater. But you know, it's gonna have to be some trade-offs. Because you know, it's not gonna exactly be something that you have to do. I mean, it's gonna have to be some trade-offs. Because the higher the voltage, the more it affects your speech. So you gotta have to see what you can deal with. Do you deal with no speech or stumbled speech, or do you deal with steady hands? I opted for the trade-off, slightly steady, slightly shaky hands for more speech, because I did not want to affect the speech. But here's to you. I give you an update whenever I get more info.
Okay, folks, I believe in full disclosure. You can see Lee's pretty close to zonked out. Now that all the anesthesia has worn off, the pain is starting to kick in, so they just had to give her a double dose of pain meds. And I wasn't going to video that because I wasn't going to show her crying her eyes out in pain. But like I said, I believe in full disclosure. So although there are huge benefits, it's not all puppy dogs and roses. So we believe in the good, bad, and the ugly, and this is part of the bad and the ugly piece. And talking with the nurse, this is normal. We're about 6 hours now out of surgery, so all that anesthesia that they had given her and the numbing meds has worn off. So now the bad side starts to come in, but they gave her some good meds. She's doing a lot better. So we will just keep you updated, but wanted to be honest about this because it's, you know, it is surgery, it is brain surgery, and there, in this case with her, there's a lot of pain at this point. Everybody is different, and but you need to know that that's part of the process, and not seeing all the good parts and not relaying the bad. So we'll be back with you when we have more of an update. Well, alright folks, after several rounds of pain meds and nausea meds, she finally ended up drifting off to sleep. It's about 9:30. She's been asleep for about an hour. So it's been a pretty rough evening, but the benefits will be just unbelievable once we get through this process. So this is going to be it for the evening, and we'll catch you tomorrow once she gets up.
Well, it's going home day. I've had a rough night, but I feel better. Still feel drunk, but I'm going home today. So I will see you whenever I get home. I'm going home inebriated. because of the medication, but I'm being able to hold and drink something without spilling and without a straw. So you guys see an overnight stay, and it might be rough, but whenever you wake up and it's about 7 o'clock and you're not got nothing but a headache, count yourself lucky. So I'll see you after a bit.